Hey everybody, welcome to my kitchen. If you're new to my YouTube channel, don't forget, I'd love for you to subscribe, hit that bell, and follow along. You'll get all the videos as I post them. Especially this month, we're doing a March collaboration with 5 other channels, and it's called Marching In With Casserole. So you're going to get probably about 15 casseroles this month from different channels. Today I'm going to be doing one. Wednesday is Miss Lori from Whippoorwill, Holler. You're going to love hers. And then next week we have Rachel. She's from that 1870s Homestead. She's going to be doing a casserole. I think she said she was going to be doing an enchilada casserole. Sounds great. And we're also going to have Karen from In the Kitchen with Karen. Also, the 3rd and 4th week, we're going to have Jeni Gough from her YouTube channel. Tandy's going to be joining us from the Freedom Homestead, and Wanda from Crazy Dazes. So what you need to do, I highly recommend you go to their channels now and subscribe, hit the bell so you'll know when the videos come out. I'm going to list all of them down below in this video. If for some reason you're watching this on your television, you can't scroll down to see all that information, you can go to my website. I'm going to put it on there as well. Put it right here. It's just gregs-kitchen.com. Everything will be on there. Also, all the other ladies are going to be sharing it on their sites too. So you don't want to miss out, because at the end of the month, on the 31st, we're going to have a drawing. We're going to give away 3 casseroles, a set of 3 casserole dishes. These are really nice. Of course, I wanted to buy them myself just so I could have them and show them to you. But not only are we going to give you these 3 casserole dishes, we're also going to give you a double casserole carrier. So you can, if you're going to a church picnic, you're going to your families, from your friends, you can take that. It's well insulated. I've used these all the time, many years I've been using these things. And this one also has a container on top that you can put your spoons, any utensils or anything you want to take. So now, to be able to be eligible for those, at the end of the month, I'm going to go through all of the channels. I'm going to pick a date of what date they did their video, and then we'll do the random comment checker, and it's going to pull one comment from that date, and that person's going to win those 2 things. If you saw my video before, we're only able to do it in the United States because we're going to be sending it directly from Amazon. So the thing you need to do is comment on everybody's video. Because if you comment just on mine or just on Rachel's or Miss Lori's, and we draw someone else's date, you're not going to be eligible to win. So go to everybody's video, just comment, tell us how much you like it, tell us what you might change about it, or just say hi and leave the comment. Like I said, I highly recommend that you subscribe to their channel and hit the bell, so when the video comes out, you'll see it, you don't miss it. But you can come back each week, check on my YouTube channel, check on my website. I'll have a list of them. As the ladies put out their videos, I'll put what casserole they're doing. But today I'm going to start out the Marching In With Casseroles with my chicken and biscuit casserole. What I've got started here is I already started melting about 3 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to let that get melted, and then we're going to add some flour to it to make a roux. Also to this, we're going to add 2 cups of chicken. You can either use shredded or you can use diced. You can stop and get a rotisserie chicken on the way home from work at the store. You can boil a couple chicken breasts, you can saute them, whatever you'd like to do. Today I did a whole chicken. I just boiled it off because that way I have extra stock, because I'm going to need 2 cups of stock for this recipe, but I'm going to use stock during the week. I use it all the time in different recipes. So I've got that going. I'm get the butter heated up. What I use to put in with the chicken to boil it to make the good stock, the carrots, the onions, and things like that, I'm going to go ahead and put in my chicken stock. That's amazing flavors. You don't want to lose those flavors and just throw them out. Many people, that's what they do. Anytime I make chicken stock, whatever I have in there, except for the bay leaf, I take out, I strain, and I put back into the mixture so I can put it into the casserole or whatever I'm cooking. It just adds flavor. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to cheat, and while the butter's heating up, I turned on the front, not the rear. I'm going to use my immersion blender and just bring this together. So it's going to get noisy for a second. This is just going to add that flavor back in. You guys are wondering, why would I throw away these carrots and onions and celery, whatever you're putting in there to season it? So there we go. That's all mixed in together. Move this out of the way. Set this back here so we've got it. And like I said, I've still got almost a gallon of chicken stock here that I'm gonna be able to use all this week for different recipes. So we got the butter going here. It's heating up. And once it gets nice and toasty, I'm gonna just add in flour. And it's about 1/3 of a cup of flour. Just depends on how much butter you're using. I use 3 tablespoons, you might use a little bit more. Also, anytime you're doing this, it might take a little bit more, might take a little bit less. It depends on the humidity. That's gonna affect your flour. So just get it in there. You wanna mix it up until it looks like dry sand. It looks like I'm using the entire amount. And then we're gonna let that brown a little bit. We wanna get the flavor, the taste, and texture of the flour cooked out. And as we let it brown a little bit, we're gonna add more flavor, toasted butter flavors into it. So we're gonna let that sit there for a second. Now to that, I'm going to add half of a large yellow or white onion. Mine's a sweet white onion that I've got. We'll be adding that in. And we're gonna add in 2 or 3 garlic cloves. It depends on how much you like garlic. I love garlic, so I always put a little bit extra in. So I'm just gonna mash them up. You can either mince them, you can buy the garlic that's already minced. It's better though, if you're gonna use garlic, get fresh garlic and then mince it up. Okay, our flour looks like it's starting to brown. So let me stir that a little bit. Yeah, we're getting some brown on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the onions in. I'm not gonna put the garlic yet, because the garlic will burn quickly, so we won't wait for a minute on that. I've got this on about medium-high heat. Put this up here, mix that around a little bit. We're just gonna let that brown off. And like I said, we got about 2 cups of chicken. I'm using a cup of carrots. I like carrots, so I just chopped up a bunch of baby carrots that I have in the refrigerator. We love peas, so I'm using about 1.5 cups, maybe close to 2 cups of frozen peas. You don't want to use canned peas, they're too mushy. They're going to bake down and turn more mushy in the casserole. Now you don't have to use fresh or frozen. You can actually get a bag of frozen vegetables at the grocery store. You just use about 2 cups, 2.5 cups to put in here if you don't want to mess with that. You can just buy the frozen mixture. Okay, so I'll let those cook just a little bit. I don't want to get them real good, because I like a little texture in my casserole from the onions. So now I'm going to put in the garlic. I'm going to let that cook for just a minute. I can already smell the garlic and onion cooking. That is amazing flavor. I can put garlic and onion in everything I cook, I think. Oh, maybe not desserts. Okay, so we're gonna do our 2 cups of chicken stock. Then I put the vegetables back in. You do not have to do that. Chicken stock's fine. If you don't have chicken stock, you can use water and a little chicken base. I use wet chicken base. You can use a bouillon cube. But you want the chicken, some kind of chicken flavor in here to add more flavor. So we're gonna put this in. And we're gonna put about 1.5 cups of milk. First I wanna get this starting to come together. And once you put that in, it's going to start releasing the flour that's cooked into around the onions. Okay. I'm going to put about 1.5 cups of milk. I'm using whole milk. If you want richer, you can use half and half. There we go. And I'm just going to let that cook and come to a boil, a simmer, and just start thickening up some. All right, let me increase the heat here. Now I want to taste the flavor. Yeah, that could use some salt and pepper. So you try salt and pepper to taste. I didn't put a lot of salt in my chicken stock. If you use bouillon cubes or better than bouillon, the wet base, you're not going to want put as much salt because it already has salt in it. We're just going to put some salt and pepper in here. Give them your taste. Much better. Okay, so it's going to start simmering here. Actually, it's starting to come around. You're just going to want to get this pretty thick. We're going to want it to coat the back of the spoon because it's not going to cook very long in the oven. It's only going to cook long enough for the biscuits that you put on top. Okay, I'm back. It's pretty thickened up, probably about 3/4 the way I want it. I like to just take a spoon, and if you can take a spoon and then just take your finger down, that's usually about the thickness we want, just so it coats the back of your spoon. So we're going to reduce the heat on this. I'm going to add in our peas and carrots. You could add in your whatever you want. You can use broccoli, peas, cauliflower, frozen vegetables, any mixture you like. And we're also going to put in the chicken. And if you do your own chicken, be careful. After you pick it, you're putting it in. I like to smash a little bit with my fingers just to make sure there's no bones. So I have a couple times gotten bones in there. Looks good. All right. Now just mix this all together. And we're going to want to taste it again after you put in your vegetables and your chicken, because those were neither one seasoned except the chicken for a little bit of the salt and pepper I put into the stock as it was cooking. Yep, gonna need more salt. So it's gonna, I'd probably use about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of sugar or salt, and probably about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of pepper as well. You can adjust that to your liking. As you can see, this has all come together. It's nice and thick. Make sure that like I like it. Perfect. Now a lot of people get concerned that when they see me salting things, I'm putting too much in. But remember, I'm starting from fresh chicken, peas, carrots. None of these are canned. None of these sat in salt. They're not seasoned. So I'm working with a blank slate. So not really overdoing it. You do want to taste it. You don't want your guests to have to go through and put all the seasonings on because they think it tastes bland. Okay, so I'm going to turn the heat off on this. It's done. I'm going to clean up my mess and we're going to come back and work on the biscuits. Okay, we're back. The casserole, the actual mixture is already cooked. It's all ready to go. Basically you can eat it now. It's heated through. So there's nothing that needs to cook there, but we have to do the biscuits. I've got about 2 cups of self-rising flour. If you don't have self-rising, you can use all-purpose. Just put some baking, maybe a tablespoon or 2 of baking powder in it to help it rise. I'm gonna add to that because I'm gonna make these. This is basically my buttermilk biscuits, but I'm gonna change them up a little bit for this. Put about 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, put a little bit of salt and pepper. And I'm gonna put all the ingredients down below so you'll have those. And I'm gonna do about 1.5 cups of cheddar cheese. This is actually shredded cheddar and a Monterey Jack mixture. And I'm also, forgot I need to melt that butter. We're gonna put a whole stick of butter in there. So while that's melting, I'll get out my buttermilk. You don't have to use buttermilk if you don't like buttermilk, but I like the tanginess of it. All my biscuits, my cornbread, everything's made with buttermilk. But you can definitely use just regular whole milk, sweet milk. So let me get the butter here. Let it brown just a little bit. I like the nuttiness. You brown the butter. As you can see, it's not pure, just melted butter. I let the pan heat up a little bit first, and then it starts browning immediately. It gives it a more nutty taste. It's going to add to the biscuits. Anytime you brown butter, it's just gonna have more nutty flavor to it. Okay, so we're good on the butter. We're gonna put that in. I always use a spoon instead of my hands to do the biscuits. My hands are warm, they're gonna make everything melt and come together. My buttermilk biscuits, I don't use melted butter. So I don't want the butter to melt when I'm doing that, so I use a spoon, and that way it doesn't heat it up and melt it. Now it's gonna take about a cup and a half of buttermilk or regular milk. You're just gonna eyeball this. You just want enough for it to come together and make a workable dough. And just put a little bit in at a time. You don't want to overdo it because then you'll have to add more flour. You can always add more, you just can't take it out. So I want it just a little bit like this. It's kind of falling apart. That's perfect for the biscuits. That's all the buttermilk we're going to need. Got it right on the first try. Okay, now have some flour handy when you're making the biscuits, just to dust your countertop or your board or your towel, whatever you're going to be rolling the biscuits out on. And you're going to need it for the biscuit cutter. That's where I always make a mess. I'm going to be flour all over me. Okay. Got a little bit on your hands, and we're just going to bring this together. If it feels wet and it's sticking, add a little bit more flour. This is a little wet. There we go. Make sure you keep doing the board. You don't want it to stick to there. And now, another secret, the more you fold this over, the higher it's going to rise, because each one of those is another section of the biscuit. It's going to help it rise up. Okay, you can either, at this point, get a rolling pin and roll it out. I try to make it about the size of my casserole pan, because I'm going to need that many biscuits. So we're going to make them about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch thickness. Okay, so that's good. It's loose from there. That should give us just the right amount. Okay. I sprayed this earlier. I'm just going to pour the contents of our casserole down into it. Don't waste any of this. Because believe me, this is just as good the second day warmed up as it is the first. And another thing you might want to do, if there's just 2 of you or just 1 of you, you don't have to make this whole casserole at once. Now that I've got this put together, if I didn't want to do the entire casserole, you can put it in small aluminum containers or a glass container. Freeze it at this point. Don't do the biscuits now. But do this, put it in the freezer. You got to take it out one night after work. It's ready to go. And then you have it. So tonight, we're going to do the entire casserole out. Now, I said hold on to this flour, because if you've never made biscuits before, you're going to want to dip your biscuit cutter in it and just go straight down on the biscuit. If you go down and twist, it's going to kind of seal the sides. It's not going to let it rise. I don't know if you can see it. You can see the little layers there. We're just going to cut these out. Adjusting like this. You know what? I think I have enough to make another row, so we're going to scoot these over a little bit and just cover the entire casserole. There we go. I don't want to waste this dough, our biscuit dough. It's really good. Okay, just push down so you can get about 3 of them out of there. Put those right there. I don't know if I said earlier, I've got the oven preheated to 400 degrees. We want that for the biscuit. Remember, we're not cooking the filling. It's already cooked, it's ready to go. So we're just gonna put that in there. We got all those left over. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in the oven at 400 degrees. It's already preheated. Cook it for about 15-20 minutes. Just watch the biscuits. I roll them thin so they don't have to cook as long. And we'll pull that out and we'll see what we got. We'll be back. Okay, y'all, we're back. The casserole should be done just momentarily. I wanted to show you. I emptied out the pot that I did the chicken in. I got 2 half gallons, a full gallon of chicken stock that I can use later this week. So that's what you get if you do your own chicken, boil it and put it in the seasonings. You get chicken stock that you can use later in the week, and I will go through this really quick. You can keep that up to a week, maybe a week and a half in the refrigerator, just cover it. You can also freeze it if you want to. And it'll last longer. Okay, let's get this out. There we go. And for those of you that think I wasted that biscuit, no I didn't. I put it on a pan and I'm gonna a little later myself. So here is our chicken and biscuit casserole. Like I said, we cooked it at 400. It took me about 20-25 minutes for the biscuits to rise. I'll get a spoon here. Show you. They're actually sunk down in there a good half inch maybe, and coated there. All those juices and the vegetables are boiling up around it. I'm gonna put all of the ingredients and the instructions down below in the comment section in the description. If you're not on the computer or a handheld device, like a phone or a tablet or iPad, you can go to my website. Right here it is, gregs-kitchen.com. I'll put it on there also. There will be a link. Don't forget, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this month, starting today. After this, Miss Lord will be up on Wednesday, but you're going to want to come back and watch all our videos. We got Whippoorwill Holler. We have that 1870s Homestead. Karen from In the Kitchen with Karen. Jeni Gough from her YouTube channel is going to be sharing with us. Tandy from Freedom Homestead, and Wanda over at Crazy Dazes. If you're new to my channel, you probably don't know my mom joins. She loves to cook and she shares a lot of her recipes. So she's going to probably contribute 1 or 2. I'm going to have hers in here as well. I might even do one together with her. She's in Ohio. I'm here in South Florida. Maybe we'll do a Zoom meeting or something and we'll try to get her together here. But don't forget, go to everyone's channels. I've got them listed down below. I highly suggest that you subscribe to them now so you're already ready. And then each day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, watch their video, make a comment, and you'll be eligible to win the 3-piece casserole set and the double casserole carrier. So from my kitchen, I'm going to go for now. I'm going to go have some of this chicken and biscuit casserole. I am so happy you guys joined me. I feel blessed. You all have a great day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Jeni Gough.